Hey everybody, this is Melina from ScrapbookingwithME.com and me, Crafty Scrapper, here on YouTube and on Instagram. I am bringing you today my Traveler's Notebook, the Simple Dory from my Cocoa Daisy April kit, and I want to take it apart and do something new with it. When you are working in a journal, a traveler's notebook, and you're wanting to do more writing than art, you want to kind of keep the pages simple, but I don't like keeping mine as blank as they are in here. So I'm going to deconstruct this, and I will sew the middle instead of the staples. So I'm going to take those out, and we're going to make some of our own tabs for the edges and kind of shabby chic it up a little bit, and even do a little bit of distressing. I have some vintage photo distress ink up here, and I'm going to ink edges with that to give it a little bit of a vintage feel and shabby it up just a little bit. And while I deconstruct this and get some of my elements together, I'm going to speed this up and give you a little bit of light music, just so that you don't have to go through this boring part of me taking these staples out and getting the pages rearranged like I want them and getting some elements cut out, and then that way, you know, it's not that boring. And I will come back to you whenever I get some of my main elements put together that I want before I adhere them in, and tell you how I'm going to redo this spine. If you've watched any of my junk journaling videos, you know that this will be like a little signature, and I'll use my awl and some thread and get that spine back together. But I'm going to deconstruct this and get some stuff together, and then I will be back to you. And like I said, I'm just going to speed it up, so no need to fast forward if you want to watch how I deconstruct this in a speedy process. Okay, so I've got it put together how I want it. So now I need to go ahead and bind it so that I can get these pages folded in so they'll have a flip out and all of that, and I won't have to hold it all together. So it is on its regular Cocoa Daisy craft cover, and I'll be adding some stuff to this, but I don't want to add solid paper to it, so I'll add that later. I'm going to go ahead and get this bound how I want it before everything starts moving around. And let's see, this is a remnant of string that I had left. Yes, that will be enough. So I'll use that. This is going to be a little flip out in the middle. So I want to keep that as close to where I want it in the middle as possible. But I need to fold it up just a touch to make that, to make that hole. So I can see the middle in here. And I'm going to go ahead and poke my first hole. Make sure you're all the way through. There I went. Felt that. And folding it up like this is going to help you to keep on that middle spine. If you have it flat, you're going to go off the rail a little bit, like I have done many times. So try to keep it folded up a bit when you are poking your holes for your spine. Okay, put my all the way, get my string. If you have wax thread, of course, that is even better. I just haven't gotten any from the shop yet. I am a true believer in using what you have until it's gone. I try my best. And so this is just regular old thread I'm using. You know, it's that spool stuff, and I can actually see the spool now, so I'm excited that I'm almost done with it. So that I can reward myself with some wax thread. Alright, so I'm going to go through and leave myself enough to tie. Okay, I'm in the back now, so I'm going to go back and look how those holes are right in that spine. Love it. So you're not having to guess when you bend that up some to do that spine. Okay, and then I'm going to want to reinforce this just a little bit more than I usually do my journal, so I'm going to go back through the middle instead of going all the way to the end. I'm going to go back through the middle and then through that end, back up front, and then I'm going to go all the way to the end again. Get that string out here. Okay, and then pull tight, pull tight. That way that keeps that fold out, that flip out that you've got there in the middle. It keeps it tight because you've only got the one hole that it's coming through. Alright, now I can take these clips off and let that fold out some so that I can get this middle done. And this green is very harsh for me, so I'm going to get that taken care of in a bit. Oh, my. And you might say, hey, you got double here and you got a single here. I'm good with that. This is not rocket science and it's not perfection, so I'm good. I just wanted a little bit more sturdiness to that spine, since I've got a fold out in the middle that's only adhered. See, it's going to move back and forth some. I'm going to take care of some of that movement with some liquid glue right up against the spine there. But I wanted to come back for a minute and show you how I am doing that spine. And I believe for now, I might change it later, but for now I believe I'm going to tie a knot, or a bow, in that middle there, and then snip my ends. Move my papers over so I can find my scissors. Okay. Alright, I can pull off these binder clips here. And then that's going to fold up. It will. It folded up before. I might have to, yeah, I'm going to cut off just a little bit of that. But here, I want to make some fold ends and let that cloud paper back right up to itself. Alright, yeah, I like how that cloud paper is a little bit longer than the actual cover. I like that. I like how that will fold out like that to give me some extra journaling space. I've got a small page here, and I rearranged these papers a little bit. I have cloud paper backing up to cloud paper. Fold out in the middle. Added some craft from my scrap pile. And then there's that cloud to cloud again. And then I've got blank to blank there. And I will cover that up with some embellishments. I like how that looks so far. I need to trim off just a wee bit there in the middles of those. I think I'm just going to do I'll line it up with my lines here on my paper trimmer. Just get that little bit trimmed off so it's not so bulky. And using those lines on your paper trimmer is a great way if you've got some pages in your journal that you need to trim down, but you don't want to take them, take the binding apart and take them back out again. Use those lines on your paper trimmer, and that helps a lot. Okay, so yeah, that looks good. And you can see the bow in the middle. Alright, I'm going to use some liquid glue. And I am going to get this. I'm going to pull this together with a clip here. And then I'm going to put just a little bit of liquid glue just in that spine there. Not too much, just enough under that so that it is not wobbling everywhere, but not too much as to make it where it will tear the papers behind it or anything. So you definitely want to get your spine like you want it before doing this if you're going to do a fold out in the middle of your journal. And I'm going to let this dry a little bit, and when I come back I will have some embellishments cut up and some clusters done that I'm going to add to some of the pages. I went ahead and inked everything, and I added some tabs and things. I will do a flip through for you in just a minute, but this is an altered simple dory from Cocoa Daisy, and took it apart, just showed you how I took it apart through that little sped up version of the video, and rearranged the pages like I wanted them. And then I just started tearing papers and getting everything on like I wanted it. And I was going to show you here in this flip out, I just tore some paper. I had to add this because I got very inky. As you can tell, my hands are very inky, and I didn't want it to get on my desktop. So I put this down. So I apologize for the shine that it gives you. But that was a die cut, and then I just tore that paper that's got the little bird and inked around it. Had like a little pull there for that flip out. And I left this pretty much neutral, just so, or that paper's not neutral, but I just left this as is so I could add white paper to the middle and journal, or add a picture or whatever. I tore this paper and inked the edges, and I'm going to add that to this torn piece of craft that I had added into the book. I'll go ahead and add that in. But I just went ahead and got all of my distressing all the pages and all that, because that's what takes up the most time when you are working with a traveler's notebook insert that does not have distressing already in it. That takes up the most time, especially with how many pages that you are going to have in your journal. I really like how that looks, the little layout there, that little faceless lady, and this month's Cocoa Daisy artwork. And then there's that flip out in the middle, and I kind of distressed around on that lime paper because it was way too dark for me. I have not done anything to the front, and I've made my tabs here on the edges, and so I thought that I would wait and show you what I'm going to do to the front. I'm going to dirty up a little bit. And this is just the Vintage Photo Tim Holtz Distress ink. And just dirtying up that front some. I think that might be all I do as far as that goes. And I've got some patina looking spritz spray that I want to add to this front. And it is not an oxide, so it's going to soak right in to the cover, to that paper, that craft paper. And I am good if it gets on my tabs over here, so I'm not covering those up. But it just gives a really nice patina color once it dries. So that'll be my background there. And let's see here. I think I'm going to add some galls here to my spine. Some people use cheesecloth, and that's fine too, but I think I'm just going to add some gauze here and add just a little bit of glue while that ink is drying to my edges of that spine. And I've got my gauze there in the middle, and fold it over and get it stuck down a little bit. And I'm going to wipe this off so I don't get anything on the back that I don't already want on the back. Okay, and I'm going to crumple this up a little and then add some paper. What paper do I want to add? I think I really like this paper, so I think I'll add that. And I'm just going to tear all the way down and tear all the way down again. Okay. Yep, and then I'll trim it off some. Alright, so I'm going to gather this back a little bit. All this is, guys, is that just medical gauze that you get in first aid kits. That's all it is. Alright, yank it back just a little bit. And of course I'm not done with this distress ink. I'm going to ink the edges up of this. I'll cut those tops, that top off probably, so I don't have to ink it. Alright, a little too stark white for me, so I want to dirty it up some. I'll move that up. A little bit more there. Yes, I like that. Okay, so I'm going to add this on top of that gauze, and I'm going to use some score tape just because we're going on top of here, and I might even add a little bit of Fabri-Tac. Yep, I'm going to add some Fabri-Tac around the edges of this so that I don't have to worry about it coming up at all. And when I get done with my cover, then I will give you a full flip through of what I've done. Alright, I'm going to add some Fabri-Tac to the edges here. This stuff works, but it stinks. Shoo. Fabri-Tac. Okay. And then get it all over me. It wouldn't be a Melina palette project if I didn't get either ink all over me or something. Glue. Glue always sticks on me. Always. Always, always. Alright, I'm going to get those edges really, really good stuck down here. I don't want those edges coming up from off of that gauze. Okay, and then that's almost dry. On that side that's stuck here. Let's see. Let's do a little more Fabri-Tac on the back just to get that gauze stuck down like I want it. I want it to just barely cover this up. here. Where is my little spatula? Here we go. Because I really don't want Fabri-Tac stuck to my fingers. And get that gauze good and stuck. And I want that to have a little bit of a lip, not that much. So let's fold this over on itself a little bit. I don't want it to be all the way up against the spine, but I don't want it stuck out crazy either. Okay, yeah, I like that. And I like how when you're putting the ink down first, it gives you these little nuggets of color. I like that. Then I'm going to get my scissors and cut off our excess gauze. And I'll go up onto the cover a little bit because it makes it look a little bit like fishnet kind of. So I like that. I'm going to open up this cover. Cut that off. Get the rest of that there. There we go. I like that. Alright, now something else to do to that front. I love the speckles that I got. I like how that piece looks. Let's look here at adding a piece maybe under. Yeah, I like that. So let's try to get that tucked under there, just to give it a little bit more dimension. And then I'm going to rip a little bit off. And then add some more torn through here somewhere. Maybe like that. Yep. Like that. So that covers up that straight line you had with the washi. Kind of pull this up a little bit here and here to get some more dimension and get that color that's on the back side of that showing through. That's pretty. And I still think it needs one other thing. Let me look here in the kit and see if there is a die cut or something that would look good there. Let's see here. I kind of like the faceless woman. Let's see what that piece looks like. Let's see here. There's a lot of green going on the front, isn't it? I like that. Let's get this little birdie. maybe. And maybe some red poppy too. Let's look here. See how we like that. Let's keep this red heart out maybe. Add that on to the front too. Let's see if I like how that looks. Okay. Let's go Faceless Lady around that red that I want showing. Okay, and then maybe not the red poppy. Let's look at the heart. Don't know if I want it attached or where I want it. I like that. And then, do I want to do a cluster with that? I think that would be too much. Let's look at the poppy one more time. Adding it somewhere. Not really feeling that one. Alright, so Faceless Lady and the heart, kind of dividing those two papers, and then this on top of the Faceless Lady. I like that. Alright, let's go ahead and ink everything up. I think that's going to give me the dimension I want and give me the look I want. So ink her, and then ink this, and then I want to dirty it up some because it's too stark white for me, and then ink those edges of that heart. I am going to, they already have adhesive, but I'm going to go ahead and add just a little bit more and get those two papers divided there. Get that excess glue off. Get my Faceless Lady image, die cut, whatever. The adhesive taken off the back of that, and add just a little more. Had just a little goo come off on that too. Okay, I like how that red is popping out around that. And then let's get this adhesive off of here. Once you've got ink and everything else all over you and on your fingers and nails and everything, it's sometimes hard to get that backing off. I needed to have used my stick pin. That would have worked. Alright, and then I want to cover up this little gaping hole here and not, nope, I don't want to go down below that, so kind of meet in the middle. And since it's got wording on it, I need to kind of get it straight too. Let's add some glue to the back so we know it's not going anywhere. Okay, get that excess off. I like that. Yep, I like that. And I think, yep, I'll add the bird to the back cover. Not that I'd add lots to the back cover anyway, because, you know, it's going to be laying down. And you won't see a lot of the back. But I just felt like with this one, since it was all craft colored, but it needed a little bit of something on the back. Okay. All right, so let me get all of this cleaned up, and we will do a flip through for you. Let you see what all the pages look like and how I altered everything. Alright, so y'all will have to excuse my inky hands. I didn't even take time to go and wash them off before showing you the flip through of this. It used to be a Simple Dory from Cocoa Daisy. It is still a Simple Dory from Cocoa Daisy. I just altered it quite a bit. This is its original craft cover, and I just did this front for you. You saw the process of how I did the front and added that gauze onto the spine of it. Now, at the beginning, I showed you how I took the staples out and did my own binding on the spine there. So there's that. So let's get to the flip through. There is your cover. The inside has a little bit more gauze, and it's got that shimmery liquid pearls. I just added it on and then got my spatula that I use with my mixed media and spread that out some to give that inside cover some interest. And then I've got 2 pages want to get stuck together. I have a tab here that I just made with my tab punch from some of the papers, and that was that really lime bright paper, and I used my vintage photo distress ink and just really dirtied it up and added some torn paper and stamping and some die cuts. And this right here is the intro to a Simple Dory. When you get it, that's the first page. Well, I had rearranged my pages and I just tore that up and stamped on it. Added some liquid pearls there to that page, and then dirtied this white page up pretty good and added some torn paper and a die cut. I left this as is for a picture or whatever. Look at that. Look at all that ink I have all over me. Oh well. And then here I just left that clean, but then added this to the middle. So if there's maybe a white pen that you would want to journal on, and then add black pen here to give it contrast. I thought that was a neat idea. Added some more liquid pearls here and dirtied that up and put a die cut there. So simple on that layout. This one is also simple. I just dirtied it up with some liquid pearls here, added a tab and one of the die cuts, and then this is a little half page that I added in, and it's just got a die cut there and a die cut there. Everything is distress inked. And then there's that beautiful cloud paper, and I put a die cut here, and I just tore some other paper and inked around it and added it to the edge. And then this is that flip out page that's got that little torn bird paper and the little circle die cut there. And then here is the lady that we pasted in a few minutes ago, and that torn craft paper there. And then here I added just washi tape to both edges of that spine. We're at the middle of our journal now. And then here's your flip out paper. Here's your flip out page. And remember, we put a little bit of liquid glue under here just to keep this stabilized so it wouldn't sway back and forth, because it's only in there from that middle and not, it's not attached here where we did our spine. But I just added some torn paper and really dirtied that lime green up because it was a little too bright for my taste. So there's a flip out. I added some more liquid pearls to that craft paper there. And then on this layout, I did a tuck here. I just got some of the paper, tore it, inked it, and then added some cardstock, just a little booklet there. And then here, this was also a flip out like here, but I glued these edges and made it a pocket. So that's a little pocket there. And then I just added some washi onto that, kept this one simple, added another little die cut. Life is better with us together. That would be a great spread to write about you and your sweetheart and put a picture of yourselves there. I added some torn paper here over some where I've dirtied up that page. Let the Sun Shine In as a die cut on this other little half page. And I added another piece of torn paper and really dirtied up this white page here. I just added washi over where I had dirtied up there. Added a torn piece of paper from the kit over where I had dirtied there. And added a little tab here. And this was a sticky tab, so on the back side of that, I added just a piece of torn paper and glued it so that that sticky part of that tab could stick to that, and it looks intentional. And then there is some more torn paper that I just inked and put on, and then this page was beautiful as is, so I didn't really add anything to it. And then I added more of this paper here onto here, and I dirtied it up here with the distress ink, and then added some liquid pearls there. And just added that torn piece just to give it an element on that stark white paper. And every once in a while you'll see that some of that liquid pearls just went rogue and went somewhere else. I'm good with that. It's not perfectionist project, and some of the distress ink, especially here in the middle, went a little rogue. I'm good. Because it's a shabby chic distressed alternate journal from what it was. So there is a torn piece. I made a tab and then just put a die cut there. And then I stamped here. I also stamped there. Stamped on that one too. I stamped here. There was a big blob of something back behind that, so I added that there. And then I did some more of that liquid pearls and then got more goop there, so oh well. Dirtied up here and added that little pretty faceless lady again and just tore around the edges and added her to that back cover. Inside back cover, and then that is our back cover, and we've got ink from that front, and then we've got liquid pearls that I just spread around, put a piece of paper, torn paper there, and another piece of that's that die cut that I thought I would put on the front, but I put on the back. And that concludes our altered simple dory from Cocoa Daisy. I hope you enjoyed this video. Thank you so much for sticking around till the end. That helps me so much with YouTube. If you are not a subscriber here, I would be honored for you to be a subscriber to my channel here at Me Crafty Scrapper. Thanks so much for watching. Y'all have a blessed day. God bless. Bye. Inky Finkers.